Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. My name is Raven, and today we're going to be talking about creating a reset routine for people with ADHD. I have ADHD and have only been in treatment for it for the last 3 months. So up until now, I've just been trying to create my own structure and ways of dealing with all of the symptoms that come with ADHD. Obviously, everyone experiences that differently. And there's a gnat in my face. I would also like to disclose that, one, I am in a very echoey room, so if that's something that bothers your sensory issues, I'm really sorry. I am in the middle of a lot of transitions, and right now, I don't have a fully set up space to film videos, and everywhere is gonna be really echoey. And I'm working on getting that fixed, but I'm missing one component today. And I'm also going to be having you guys pointed at my hands. I've been ripping my nails off really bad. I've been using impress nails for a really long time to cover my nails, and they worked really well, but my nails got really fragile for some reason. And when I went to remove my nails, the impress nails, they took some of my free edge with it. So I am gonna be doing a manicure tonight, but I can't talk to the camera when I have a designated thing that I want to say and not have it in my face. So I am going to be pointing you guys at my hands, and if that bothers you, just listen, don't watch. This video is because I recently started posting about some of my weekly resets. I go through times where I depend on them a lot, and then I go through times where I just don't need them as much. Right now, it has been a time that weekly resets are really helping me, and so I just thought maybe I could help you guys with that. Obviously, I can't help everyone who has ADHD because everyone experiences it differently, and I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's experience or speak for everyone. I'm just saying this is a thing that works for me. If any of it works for you, that's great. If not, I hope you can figure out something else that does work for you. I just really want to make more content that helps people. Also, I meant to say this a second ago, my meds are wearing off, so it's getting really hard for me to focus. If it gets too bad, I will go make something with caffeine in it. That is the primary reason why I'm gonna be pointing you guys at my hands, even though I am really not happy with how my hands look at the moment. Literally just got a bunch of manicure supplies from Amazon. If you're curious, I am going to be making a washcloth with the lemon stitch peel because it's really repetitive and easy. It is just an odd number of stitches and repeating double crochet and single crochet. You can do it with an even number, but I'm doing it with an odd number so that every first and last stitch is a double crochet. If you don't crochet and you don't care about what I just said, that's fine. Let's jump into this video. I've refilmed this intro 4 times. Okay, so for me, resets serve the purpose of 2 things. One, they help with maintenance and keeping things running. Sometimes I just struggle with certain tasks, especially working from home. Sometimes it can be really hard to stay on top of cleaning, but not having a clean space to work in makes it real hard to keep working. And 2, it creates a burst of action and energy, and it really helps to set up for new routines. I really like doing a big reset when I am recovering from burnout or depression or depressive episodes, which is why I've been recently posting more about my resets, because I just had a burnout and it was pretty bad on my scale. The resets have really helped me get back to a much more comfortable level of function. So in the past, I've used them to band-aid and help me try to suppress and hide my shame from feeling like I wasn't good enough because of my ADHD and trauma. While technically these resets worked and my house got cleaner and tasks got done, I did not have improvements mentally and was a lot more prone to overdoing it, possibly injuring myself because I am a fragile little potato. And I'm this is the wrong hook for this, but I can't I couldn't find the right one. When I was doing it out of shame, it always came with pretty bad consequences. I was normal, and like afterwards, I would be too mentally and physically exhausted to actually enjoy or maintain anything that I had done. So I would feel ashamed that or sometimes I would even feel ashamed that I'd gotten so bad that I needed to do like a reset in the first place. There's like a whole cycle of negative stuff there, and I'm still working through it, but I really wanted to mention it because I feel like when we're talking about ADHD and we don't really address how hard it can be and how shameful it can be, we're not getting at the whole problem, because in my experience, it is a lot harder to do something and almost impossible to do something if I have shame around it. Not everyone does, and that is great. Shame is a really big part of my experience, and until I heard other people talking about it openly and I started going to therapy and having access to things like that, and I started doing my own internal work, I was not really able to get to a place where I could have a healthy relationship with anything, but especially including routines, resets, and productivity. Because I wasn't doing it because it was things that I wanted to do. I was doing it because I felt like if I didn't, I was a bad person. This video is not going to be all about shame specifically, but I just really wanted to make sure I addressed that head on because I felt like it was important. So we're going to jump into actionable steps, and I really want to express the importance of modifying everything to fit your energy and your spoons and just really modify it to fit whatever you need in the moment. I feel like when we hear routine and we see routine videos, we see people that have really cemented routines, and it can feel daunting because it's really hard to maintain that for someone with ADHD. And I just really wanted to say, like, feel free to absolutely modify everything to fit what you need and what you have the energy to do. Before you can actually do the reset, I think you should plan it. Obviously, you can probably just start exploding off through all the house and like cleaning and getting all the things done, but I know I will not finish any tests, and I think that's fair to say of a lot of people with their own ADHD. So I like to start planning and brainstorming. I really like brainstorm your personal priorities and your needs so that you can figure out what direction you want to go in. I wrote down some questions of like what you could look for, what needs to happen every week, what only needs to happen once a week, what task has been on the back burner that is getting irritating, what's something you can change or move to make daily tasks easier throughout the week. I don't know, like a half hour to brainstorm, or even less or more, whatever. It really depends on like where you're at, but brainstorm it all out. After you come to a conclusion with your brainstorming, I want you to take all of those tasks that have to be done on a weekly basis and create a to-do list with a reoccurring timer. You can just do this in your notes on your phone and then set a timer for every Sunday. I use Google Keep, and I use reoccurring reminders for like every Sunday afternoon. It just pops up on my phone, pops up with my whole to-do list, and it's really simple for me, but I also use a lot of the Google apps regularly, so if that doesn't work for you, like use what will. I'm gonna count this real quick. Now for bonus points on your weekly to-do list, you can go ahead and sort it out by energy and how necessary it is. I personally have 2 tasks that I have to do every week, or I just don't function as a human being, and if that is all I do on Sunday, then that is all I do, and that is fine. Completely honest, that is all I did this Sunday, and I'm fine. Everything's fine. So whatever those 2 look like for you, just in case you were wondering, my absolute necessity tasks are refilling my pill container and filling out my bullet journal for the week. It's not very complicated for me. It's something that I like doing, so I can just do that within like 20 minutes and I'm all good for the week. And then everything else is just like extra icing and sprinkles. That way, if you have a week where you are like real low energy and you can't focus, you can just do that and know that you're still okay. You're still set up for a week and it still counts. And then everything else just feels real good. Now, those other questions that I asked you, just make a dump list of all of the other stuff. The stuff that you brainstormed, the stuff that has been nagging you, the stuff that maybe it feels overwhelming to do it all at once. And then the day of your reset, whether it's Sunday or Wednesday or whatever have you, when you look at your to-do list of all the things you have to do every week, you can also look at the stuff that you have brain dumped, and you can either go through it and do some of it, or you can schedule like a good time to do this task. Obviously, if you are not into scheduling and you don't have a routine of like following to-do lists, that is like all other different skills. But I think having like that like just the dump list where you can put everything. I actually have a like weekend dump list on Google Keep that I have my husband connected to, and it just makes everything so much easier because I can put our like errands on there, and I can put all of the stuff that he needs to do, all of the stuff that I need to do, and we can hold each other accountable with that. I love it. It's lovely. And I don't have a reminder on that, but like you could. Google Keep is great about that. Okay, so you've got everything listed, you've got everything planned. It's time to talk about the day of the reset. Drink some water. Am I the only one? Oh man, I miscounted. Am I the only one who like forgets to drink water while cleaning and doing all of the things? Because it is a problem that I need to fix. So make sure that you are taking care of your basic needs before you start with anything. Make sure you've got water, make sure you're eating, make sure you're fueled, make sure that you have somewhere to go and be comfortable when you're doing all of this. I highly recommend playing a lot of music. Just really loud music is great. Actually good for your dopamine levels. It's normally pretty passive. I know a lot of people like podcasts, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like play something that you enjoy that won't distract you is what I'm saying. I don't like how this is coming out, so I'm just gonna frog it while I keep talking. I feel like it is very beneficial to do the Pomodoro technique, which is where you set a timer for a certain amount of time of work, and then you have a timer go off for a certain amount of time of rest. I stick to the classic just 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of rest. It just works for me. It's what I use every day. As far as where to start with your to-do list, I think there are two routes you can take. You can either start with the hardest, biggest task and get it out of the way and know that you got the thing done, or you could just start with a bunch of smaller tasks and like get all the small things, the easy things done. I tend to go with the second option because I would rather have a bunch of small things taken care of and like out of the way so that I can deal with the big thing than to start with the big thing and then just be mentally tired and not really able to do the small things. Whatever works for you. I think both are completely fine. Once again, we're monitoring our energy levels. We're making sure we're doing what we need, and we're just accepting the limitations as they change. I would also recommend preparing for distractions. So I like to prepare for distractions when I'm cleaning by just leaving piles of things that don't belong in that room by the door and never leaving the room, because if I leave the room, I'm gonna start cleaning in that other room because, well, there was a water bottle and now I have to get out of the trap. We see that rabbit hole and we're ignoring it. We're walking by. We have the blinders on. Now, for other things, if it's like, oh, I wanna Google this because the podcast was talking about it, or, oh, am I still friends with so-and-so? Write it down. Put it in your phone. Just do not actually search or try to do it. Any random thought that pops in your head that makes you want to like stop what you're doing, write it down. If you get back to it later, cool. If you don't, was it important? if it is important, you should probably like write it down and put a reminder for the next day. But yeah, don't actually go Googling, you know, the rate of albino orcas. Don't do that. You should do that later when the house smells better. Now, if you are a person who has trouble staying on task, you could try body doubling. I know that a lot of people are like don't have access to a body double, so I would recommend accountability partners. I have friends that I will send a picture of like my starting point, whether it's like the pile of laundry or whatever have you, and be like, I'm gonna message you back in 15 minutes to show you my progress. And they are all wonderful human beings who just like hype me up, and they're like, you've got this. And even if I send back like the same pile of laundry but like one folded towel, they're like very supportive, and it's wonderful, and it makes you feel great. So I love digital accountability partners. So not everything has to be done, and it doesn't have to be done perfectly, or even like, and it doesn't even have to be productive. I think a reset day where you fill out your pill container and then you go get a green juice and you play some Sims because you haven't had fun in a while, that is like just as valuable as a day of like cleaning your whole house. Because you know what, sometimes it is better to be not overwhelmed and have a break and be better prepared to deal with the thing than it is to just force your way through it. I really am trying to get better about like listening to my limitations, especially with like how my mental health is. I am definite, like I was raised in a push through it, don't half-ass anything kind of mentality. It doesn't serve me well in my adulthood to have that, because I am a person with limitations, and I'm a person who needs to be gentle with myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm fine with that, and I'm learning to accept that more and more. ADHD tends to come with a lot of changes to routines, and when we compare that to neurotypical standards where like things can feel like that can feel negative, and I know that things get chaotic and it can be really overwhelming, and I'm not trying to like say ADHD is a superpower or that like the chaos is so quirky. I think there is still a lot of value in being able to adapt and change and make better routines for yourself, instead of trying to force yourself to work for a routine and being able to make a routine work for you. It is not a personal failure if you are burnt out or if you are depressed. It just means that you need some more support right now, and that is okay. Please remember to be gentle with yourself and to let your routines change with your needs. Routines and habits are used to help you feel grounded and lower decision fatigue, not to label you as a success or a failure. There's nothing wrong with adapting your routines to fit your needs. And I really hope that like the brainstorming idea helped you, or that like literally anything in this video helped, even if all you needed was a pep talk. Please let me know if you guys want me to break any of this down, whether it is like the Google Keep app, because I do really like that app and highly recommend it to a lot of people. And if there's like anything in this video that you want me to come back to and like talk more about, I would be happy to do so. Or anything like in general that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I am not doing a lemon peel stitch. I lied to you about that. I'm sorry. Please be gentle with yourself, and I hope you're having a fantastic day today. If not, I hope tomorrow is better. Please hit subscribe if you like cozy content. I post 2 videos a week, and I am trying to come up with like a better content structure so you guys know what to expect in the future. It's in general gonna be cozy, crafty, mental health related. I would really love to have you along if you're not subscribed. So I will see you guys on Friday, and leave a calendar emoji in the comment section below. I almost called it the crochet section. All right, guys, I have been talking for a few minutes too long. I will see you guys on Friday. Bye.